What's going on? We back with the Boxing Clinic and more. It's your boy CJ Goodfellow. One time for the one time we grounded. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon button so you know exactly when we drop that heat and go live with that heat. And be prepared for a live stream pretty soon. Maybe in an hour or so. We're going to go live and see if a couple of the brothers want to jump on and talk boxing. Then I'll come back and do everything live stream, boxing, NFL, all that type of stuff as well. But I just seen an interview that Ness from the Boxing Voice. Shout out to him. Hopefully I can send him and Blue Blood Sports something soon. You know, something very Detroit. You know what I'm saying? For their real journalism. You know, they held it down yesterday at that Joshua press conference, and shout out to them, man. They asked a real hard question, and that's the point of getting interviews. And he got an interview next with Jessie Vargas. Jessie Vargas says he's still with Al Haymon. He's fighting 3 times a year. You know, he didn't say for how long, unless it just slipped my mind. But he said he's still with Al. And he Eddie Hearn. He said, he talked to Eddie about commentators who are gonna be commentating the fights. And how often you want to fight. And it sounded like he got a specific number of fights that he gonna fight. And he said he wanted to fight. He fighting 2 times this year, October 6th. And also, I think in November he's going to turn around and fight again. No, he said October, then February marches, and then he want to come back next October. So it sounds like he only on a 3-fight deal with the DAZN. He said after March, hopefully he's able to continue to fight on the DAZN. So one of the names that he also mentioned was Lamont Peterson. He said Lamont Peterson is one of the names that has been mentioned that might come fight on the DAZN October 6th. So we'll see how that work out. I'll give my synopsis on that. A lot of people wanted to see Lamont Peterson versus Terrence Crawford on my channel thread. They was talking about that, but we didn't know if Lamont retired or what was going on with Lamont Peterson. I remember a while ago he said he wanted to fight for 3 or 4 more fights in the game. So he's been thinking about retirement, and that'd be a good fight for the DAZN, Jessie and Lamont Peterson. That's better to be expected. That may be the main event, because I know Arthur Betterbeep and Callum Johnson will not be the main event in October 6th in Chicago. Now we're planning on going to that fight and covering that fight. And people say, "Oh, how can you go support Eddie?" And me and D Brown, he a subscriber in the comment section. We're gonna meet up, and a couple other brothers. We're gonna meet up in Chicago. I got a few brothers in Chicago. We'll drive down there, take the double bus. Probably not drive because of parking. And I'm gonna check it out, man. I'm not supporting Eddie Hearn. I'm supporting fighters, if anything. But not only that, I'm supporting boxing back in the Midwest. I'm doing more local shows. Shout out to KP Boxing, promoter in Detroit, showing much love. I gotta give my man some love. Putting on great events in Detroit. Hopefully I can cover more of his events. He reached out to me. Shout out to him, all right? I'm going to reach out to a few of his fighters. Hopefully we can do something. And a few local fighters to get some interviews going as well. But supporting boxing, it should be, major boxers should have 2 or 3 shows in Detroit and Chicago a year. And bringing boxing back to Chicago would have got a lot of lineage and a lot of great fighters. Can promote more gyms around the city. And the same for Detroit, Ohio, Indiana. Let's bring boxing back to the Midwest. That's what that is about. It's not about supporting the DAZN or Eddie Hearn. You know what I'm saying? But if he fight Lamont Peterson, I'm not mad at it. It's better than what I expected him to be fighting. It ain't a fight that's going to get me to pay $10 on the DAZN or, use the 30-day free trial. It's a fight that I want to go to Chicago. I want to rub shoulders with some of my brothers. I got brothers that's down there that are rappers, athletes that I know, and I haven't seen some of my college buddies in so long. So it makes sense for me to pick a reason to go down there and also catch a good fight October 6th. So I'll keep you posted on that. Anybody want to, hold it down and meet me down there, meet TBC down there, I'll be down there. But he said he went Al, so I'm not surprised. I thought he got away with Al to get on his own. Sound like Al, revised the plan, revised the deal as well. And also he got into it. He said that Eddie said he can get Adrian Broner on his own. He can get Errol Spence on his own as well. And Ness kind of called him out. He said, "You think Earl to come over to the DAZN and Showtime is so heavily invested into him?" I mean, I guess money talks, bullshit walks. They offer enough money for Errol Spence to come to the DAZN. They offer Earl $5, $6, $7 million to come on the DAZN. Earl would be a sucker not to go on there and fight. Let's keep it real. But we know Eddie not going to do that. Adrian Broner, we already know he turned down the DAZN deal. We don't know if he's going to continue to fight. He's been in a lot of different horror situations, scary horror situations. So, you know, Eddie said he told Jessie that he can get them to the zone, and also he said that Eddie promised it's going to be really big fights on the zone. And Lamont Peterson, a really big good fight, but you know, a quick turnaround if that's the case. He also said Jeff Horn could be a possibility, and he said a couple other fighters could be a possibility. Okay, I'm gonna link the interview into the description that Nestor did at the Boxing Voice. Y'all go check the Boxing Voice out. Much love what they've been doing. I've been watching the Boxing Voice from the damn near the very beginning. All right. So shout out to them. And overall, you know, to talk about it, man, you know, it just sounded like it was about the money for Jessie. It made sense. Most people said that he dug Spence by doing this deal. He said, you know, and one thing about the deal that sounded like in an interview that he wanted to get the Broner rematch, but Broner didn't want to rematch him. And that might be a deciding factor for him to jump to the zone, because Errol Spence was calling him out, and this possibly could be a duck move for Jessie Vargas. I don't want to call it a duck move. I like Jessie. Jessie was name dropping Errol Spence when he first came back last December, and he got out his little top rank deal pretty much unscathed. You know what I'm saying? But you know, it does sound like a duck move from Errol Spence. You know what I'm saying? Because he kind of told himself, he was like, yeah, you know, somebody didn't want the fight between me and Adrian Broner, so basically he went over to the zone. And we all knew that that fight kind of fell apart. We already kind of knew. I kind of been speaking on that, all right? And to continue on, excuse me, just got a message. But now that was him and Errol Spence, you know, that could have happened pretty soon, especially if Mikey Garcia didn't feel froggy and jump and fight Errol Spence at the end of the year. Jessie Vargas was next out. Errol Spence heard Jessie Vargas name dropping his name, and now it was time to get to that action. And I think Jessie Vargas seeing a lucrative deal with the zone, and you know, Al Haymon is his manager. He's gonna do what's best for the fighter. If Jessie told Al to go over there and see what the zone was about, and see what the numbers was, you know, Al, you know, he works for the fighter. He did that. It was the right move for Jessie. He didn't have to fight Errol Spence. He didn't have to fight no high risk fights, low reward fights, or high risk, high reward fights. He gonna fight all low risk reward fights with low risk fights with high rewards. Okay. Because Eddie's probably overpaying them for market value. Now, you know, another thing about it, you know, will Lamont Peterson get a fair shake on the zone deal? Because he'd just be fighting as a promotional free agent, or will they try to sign whoever fights Jessie Vargas to a long-term deal to lure them to the zone, or where they just let Lamont Peterson and Jeff Horns or whatever fight by fight based deal. And also, if they do fight on a fight by fight deal, fighting on the zone, or just to fight Jessie Vargas for this fight, will they get a fair shake on the scorecards? That's to be seen. You know, if Lamont Peterson is going to fight on his own, as Jessie Vargas said, that's rumored to be one of the guys for the October 6th Chicago fight, will he get a fair shake on the judges on the card? So that's something to look out as well. But like you know, Eddie Hearn failed to mention that Al Haymon still was managing Jessie Vargas, so he still got to work with Al Haymon on some of these things. So Jessie Vargas bust a move. I do believe that he did duck Errol Spence by this move. He kind of told on himself, saying that Broner didn't want the rematch, so he went to the zone. He knew Spence could be a possibility. He name dropped Spence like Mikey name dropped Spence, and we know Mikey Garcia. It's a good possibility that Mikey Garcia gonna try to swerve Spence anyway. He just using Spence's name for clout and get his name back in the press headlines. And the same thing that Jessie Vargas was doing as well, just saying Spence's name just to say it and get his name in rotation and use it for clout. Neither one of them had any ambitions on fighting Spence, and I like Jessie Vargas, but I gotta call it how I see it, man. So, you know, that's just something to look at, man. It's the Boxing Clinic and more. Let me know what y'all feel. Like I said, I put the Boxing Voice interview in the description. I always source where I get my information from. It's a rumor, and I got a strong source or a tangible source. I'm gonna put it in the description as well. We on check the description. We on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Also, follow my brother Cali Enigma. It's under Cali channel in the description as well, with all my social media and my business email for business ventures only or video collaborations. All that's in the description. But follow Cali channel. Let's get Cali over 1,000 subs. Much blessings to everybody. Shout out to the whole LDBC. Shout out to Ness for a great interview from the Boxing Voice. Continue to subscribe, share the video, share them on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Whatever you can share these videos, you screenshot them and put them straight to the internet. I'm cool with that. Just credit and tell them where they can find the Boxing Clinic at. All right. Also, We got the new college sports page popping off, S1210 College Sports Most Wanted. It's in conjunction with me, the Colossal Sports TV, and Cali Enigma. And I'll link Colossal Sports TV, link in the description so you can check him out. But it's on the college sports link in the description. S1210 College Sports Most Wanted. We covering high school, some high school coverage, college football, college basketball, and a lot more. So when those seasons get jumping, you can get that real content. But don't forget to share, subscribe, and check the description for all the information. We gone.